pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best.
In training, Terence Crawford has turned into a beast, and even Roy Jones Jr. said he was shocked. Crawford has been irrational, particularly since the conclusion of the press conference. In an interview, Roy Jones Jr. discussed his training and stated, "Canelo has clear advantages over Crawford, but Crawford's coming with so much confidence, and he's training like it. I saw some clips the other day, and this guy now hits harder than ever. His shape and speed make him look like it's still 147. Although many believed that Canelo's confidence intimidated him, Terence Crawford made it fuel his determination even more, and he's been showing it more in the training camp with his trainers, specifically demanding more from him in the gym."
For boxing, how does that go down? Just break it down for us a little bit. We want to see it obviously happen.
I ain't gonna break it down to you. You know what I mean? Strategy is leaving with my hand, rolls and everybody mouth dropping. That's how I can, sums it up in a little bit of.
With the insane training footage that has boxing experts and fans discussing how he has the proper weight, techniques, and methods to fight Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford is clearly serious about the fight. The only thing left to do is watch how he handles the ring on fight night. Crawford has already released some initial training footage as he begins to get ready, including a shadow boxing session in the ring. The American released his hands to demonstrate his range of abilities, which included a quick jab and other notable combos in the video. The boxing community has conflicting views about Crawford's present state, since his bigger frame is a blatant indication that he is already working on his fighting weight. Someone wrote, "Sharp as hell, he went up in weight, gained more power, and maintained his speed." Another concurred, saying, "He looks good and appears to be trying to outbox Canelo. He can definitely win the fight that way." Someone else said, "Crawford looks super sharp and smooth. As usual, he's going to get the win. Canelo is slower." There were some who weren't so sure, saying things like, "Looks to have lost his speed. Looks slower. This could be bad. Looks slow, old, and near 40. Canelo will retire him," said a user in agreement. Finally, a supporter said, "I don't rule him out, but he seems slow in this division." The exact appearance of Crawford on fight night is still unknown. With 3 months until the career-defining event, the American has already entered camp and is already a 4-weight world champion. But a victory over Alvarez could solidify his reputation as a true great. He has demonstrated that he can overcome obstacles, such as in his difficult world title victory on points over Madrimov last year, and Alvarez has natural size advantages over his opponent, and will be the expected favorite come fight night. However, he also had difficulty defeating William Skull in his most recent fight, even though he was crowned undisputed champion once more in May. Crawford is aware that winning will be the greatest declaration he has ever made in the professional ranks, and he thinks he has some personal advantages that will help him defeat the Mexican man. "We're going to see come fight time what my advantage is," he said. "I believe that my ability to read my opponents and adapt to their movements is my best quality. I've been able to do this with every opponent I've faced so far, and when the Canelo fight takes place, I'm going to feel fantastic at 168 pounds. I don't have to worry about the weight, because I know I'll feel fantastic." As he prepares to meet two-time undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez on September 13th in Las Vegas, two-weight undisputed champion Terence Crawford will face the most difficult test of his career. In a recent Ring magazine video with Dana White, he denied actively practicing for the bout, which was one of the best mind tricks he's used to be ready for Canelo. The subject of training came up between Tom Brady, Shaquille O'Neal Canelo, and Crawford himself. Brady asked Crawford how hard he was preparing, and his unexpected response was, "I'm not training hard, I'm not even training really." He clarified that he was preventing early burnout by giving it his all at the gym so that he wouldn't be overtrained and could save it all for the fight.
I'm not even training, really. I don't want to overtrain because me personally, when I go in the gym, I give my all. And I don't want to burn myself out.
Although it may come as a surprise, Crawford's strategy may be more deliberate than reckless. He cited strength training and recuperation over continuous high-intensity sessions. This contrasts with fighters like George Kambosos Jr., who was admitted to the hospital due to exhaustion shortly before a scheduled fight. Crawford appears determined to avoid falling into that trap, but there is significant background to his comments. The video clip was actually shot prior to Canelo's fight against William Skull on May 3rd, indicating that Crawford's less intense training phase was probably months ago. Since then, there has been a noticeable increase in intensity. Last week, Crawford traveled to Riyadh for a press conference and was spotted working out at the Mike Tyson gym.
I ain't scared of shit, and you gonna find that out. And as you see, the last press conference,
we'll see.
when I walked you down, when you supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's gonna be different from you as well.
Question for Canelo.
The last fighters that you fought.
In video released by Ring magazine, he finished a comprehensive workout that included jump rope, heavy bag drills, shadow boxing, and core workouts. The visit indicated that training had begun in earnest, as Crawford seemed curiously focused and sharp. Crawford has said that he wants Alvarez to be at his best, and that he is confident in his training and abilities. He has not requested catchweight rules, rehydration restrictions, or even a rematch clause. Win or loss.
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since
Everybody.
2002.
Mention me one. You mention me one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look.
It's gonna be me.
I don't care about
will.
nobody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stuff a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be just like everybody else. Watch. Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to one.
There are still concerns about whether this strategy will offer him an advantage or leave him unprepared as the battle gets closer. But one thing is for sure. Terence Crawford is placing a wager that his perseverance and accuracy will propel him to glory. The big fight between the unbeaten Terence, the September 13th fight between Bud Crawford and Mexican Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas, will draw interest from the boxing community because to its significance, as well as mounting rumors over Crawford's future after this historic event. According to powerful people in his inner circle, including a significant Mayweather family member, defeating Canelo may mark the end of a career.
Yeah, answer right there.
Hi, Terence. What do you think about the
Well, I wouldn't say I'm chasing Canelo. You know, I think that's a broad statement. I just want the opportunity, you know, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. You know, he's the most accomplished fighter in today's sports of boxing, other than myself. And I would just, you know.
Terence Crawford has been quiet about his post-fight intentions, despite the significance of the fight, according to a recent Quanda session with fans in Sydney, Australia. In a recent video released by the Mayweather channel, Jeff Mayweather, a well-known trainer and Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s uncle, made the most direct remarks regarding Crawford's future. "I think if he beats Canelo, I think that will be enough for him." Bud stated his complete focus on the present, saying, "I don't eat before I have the food on my table, so right now I'm at 168 to fight Canelo, and that's the only thing I'm thinking about right now."
Just like to, you know, fight another great. That's it. I think it'll be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing today.
Terence, one thing as well, one of your former opponents, and I know you said hi to him yesterday, Amir Khan was here obviously. There is rumours, and he actually said that he's speaking to Jake Paul's team today for a potential matchup. There's talks with him and KSI as well.
When asked whether Crawford would step down after a potential victory against Canelo, I believe that Jeff Mayweather's decision to move up 3 weight classes would likely rank among the greatest feats in boxing history. If creating boxing history isn't enough, Terence Crawford will also receive a sizable payment for his bout with Canelo Alvarez. The boxer is expected to make about $10 million. We must not lose sight of Crawford's income from his boxing career, which is projected to be between $8 and $18 million, even if the amount is so great that it may possibly be another consideration when considering retirement.
Khan stepping into the ring with the influencer scene, what happens with these guys? You've been in the ring with him.
Amir Khan too small for Jake Paul. You know, Jake's is too big, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Amir is my guy. You know, I just think Jake too big.
What about KSI? That's on the table as well.
KSI and Jake would be a better fight. You know, I think we're in 2 different weight classes.
Terence Crawford has a great chance to defeat Canelo because he knows that defeating the Mexican in a boxing match could mean his retirement. But if he prevails, he could also add to his career and history. Crawford would not only win a new title or a sizable sum of money, but his reputation would also be enhanced, which might inspire him to keep going. Amir Khan, who fought both Crawford and Canelo in his own career, is well aware of what it's like to switch divisions to take on Alvarez. In 2016, he went from welter to middleweight to face the Mexican superstar.
I fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them?
Canelo's stronger and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean. They both hit hard because, and you can see the strength when I was fighting against Crawford. He is very strong as well. So, look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much weight? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go for fighting Canelo?
When Khan boxed the American Crawford, he put him down in their first round and stopped him in 6. When I fought Crawford, he was probably stronger than me, and I was a 147 PB fighter for a very long time. Khan told Sky Sports, "At the moment Crawford looks unbeatable and Canelo looks strong, and especially fighting a smaller guy he looks unbeatable, so let's see how this plays out." Khan also said that when I was fighting Canelo, I was probably beating him on points, but he was just so big and strong that he was riding them and waiting for that one big shot, which he caught me with and put me away.
What are some of those goals that you want to get, or what's like something you just have to achieve in your career?
Just fight the best and try to do the best fights out there and that people enjoy, like I always do, moving up in weight classes and go down and win world titles. And that's the only thing I want.
Khan cautioned against discounting Crawford against Canelo because Crawford is such a technical fighter, and if he just boxed him technically, Crawford would put on the weight. However, let's see. We also know that Canelo is a bigger puncher and has the same stamina. He appears to be fine when he fights, but it's difficult because is power or skill going to win that fight? I can't predict who will win, but I know it will be an intense battle.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down. You know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many.
After completing his fighting career in 2022, Khan plans to return to the British boxing scene as a promoter. He is hosting an event in Ghana on Friday that will see O'Hara Davies return to action, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a new chapter. I'm making sure I have a solid stable of fighters from my own career because I've learnt a lot from each promoter, Khan remarked. Khan claimed to have gathered up knowledge and ideas along the road.
Components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo had, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So
I'm going to perform in the UK, but I thought Ghana would be a great place to start. I also want to keep becoming better every Oscar. Whether it's in the ring or behind the promoter's desk, De La Hoya never backs down from a fight. The legendary boxer has established a reputation for voicing his opinions, often starting heated discussions in the combat sports community by criticizing dubious bouts and contesting the validity of competing promoters. De La Hoya's daring actions keep him in the news.
Now, what the media is reporting, and it's circulating, is that Canelo Crawford is the biggest fight of the decade. I mean, to a purist and a fighter, it's laughable. Because you have Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, who's a natural light heavyweight.
During his Clapback Thursday segment on Instagram on Thursday, June 12th, the boxing legend and promoter delivered a harsh critique of the upcoming Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford super fight and UFC CEO Dana White's unexpected entry into boxing promotion. The Golden Boy questioned the matchup's legitimacy. The size disparity between Crawford, a natural welterweight moving up 2 divisions, and Canelo, an experienced super middleweight, the biggest fight of the decade, is one of De La Hoya's biggest criticisms of Crawford's chances against Canelo and White's credentials as a boxing promoter. It's absurd. De La Hoya was elected.
Crawford, who couldn't push back Madrimov? Life and death with Madrimov. What do you think Canelo's going to do to him? Run him out of the ring. You know what's laughable also? Dana White being named the promoter of this fight, considering he's never been in the boxing space. Has no stable of boxers. He didn't negotiate shit.
De La Hoya reserved some of his harshest remarks for Dana White, who was first announced as Canelo Crawford's co-promoter before rumors circulated that Saudi Arabia's seller had taken over. The boxing veteran did not hold back when he said, "You know what's laughable? Also Dana White being named the promoter of this fight, considering he's never been in the boxing space, has no stable of boxers, he didn't negotiate stuff. You have Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, a natural light heavyweight Crawford, who went life and death with Israel Madrimov. What do you think Canelo will do with him?"
And is being handed this fight on the silver platter and called promoter. He's the trust fund baby of boxing. That's it. The trust fund baby of boxing. And get this. The fight will take place during the day on September 13th in Las Vegas. During the day. So Canelo will fight during the day on Netflix just to accommodate UFC Noche later that evening on a different network. So does that mean this?
De La Hoya intensified his criticism of White's promotional strategies, saying that White was given this fight on a silver platter, and that he is the trust fund baby of boxing. This alludes to White's alliance with Saudi power broker Turki Al-Sheikh, whose vast financial resources have accelerated TKO, the parent company of the UFC, into boxing. Last month, De La Hoya went on a similar tirade, arguing that White's UFC model wouldn't translate to boxing because his MMA fighters receive much lower compensation than boxers. De La Hoya's tirade isn't just about one fight, though. It's part of a broader discussion about the future of boxing.
Why is it that Canelo has to fight during the day on Mexican Independence Weekend? And UFC with a roster of names I've never heard of is going on prime time. Cinco de Mayo. He's fighting in Riyadh, and now he's fighting during the day on the biggest weekend in boxing. Yeah, Canelo will fight anywhere, anytime he's told, because he doesn't give a fuck. All he cares is about the money. He doesn't give a fuck about the fans, about tradition, the Mexican weekend tradition.
Boxing's power structure is changing as a result of White Alshick and established promoters like De La Hoya and Hearn battling. What do you think about the bout between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez? Do you believe these boxing experts are correct to choose Bud Crawford over Canelo Alvarez? Or is Crawford just playing mind games with Alvarez and not taking his training seriously? For the most up-to-date information on news, events, and activities in the boxing world, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and remember to enable notifications so that you can be informed when we post high-quality content like this. That's all for now. Please share your thoughts in the comments section.